All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, guys, this is actually pretty funny, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest, this is pretty funny. It's not funny. I'm not wishing anything negative on anybody, video games or real sports or whatever. But watching the Clippers drop Game Five, a game that I really felt like they had a chance to win after a slow start, I came away with one specific impression. Now, for anybody that didn't catch the game or whatever, the Mavericks went up 3 games to 2 with a 105-100 victory. The home team has lost every single game in this series. Luka Doncic was insane: 42 points, 8 rebounds, 14 assists, a steal. He did have 4 turnovers. Shot better from the free throw line, which is something that I got on him about a couple days ago. He was 2 for 3. Didn't go to the line a lot, but hey, 66.6 repeat is better than 34.9% from the free throw line, which is what he'd been shooting coming into the game. So 17 of 37 from the field, not the most efficient day, but certainly not horrible, especially when you're carrying the weight that he carries offensively. But that's not the major thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that I think I really came away from this game, and this is something that I've been building up towards this. So this is not like a knee-jerk reaction that I'm having based off of last night's game. But man, I'm starting to really believe that Kawhi Leonard just is not an alpha. And if you guys know what I'm talking about when we talk about that in sports, what that's about. You kind of get an idea of what I mean with that. Some guys are alphas and some guys are like really good players, but they're not alphas, right? And you can debate whether or not this is necessary or not to be like a truly great player leading a team or leading a championship level team. But a lot of people will tell you that every team's got to have that alpha on the squad, right? Well, if there's one image, and I'm sure you guys have seen this right now, I've seen this by now. There's one image that would suggest Kawhi Leonard is not an alpha. It's this one. So at the end of the game, the Clippers had an opportunity to tie the game up. They needed a three. I think it was 8.4 seconds left. Everybody obviously knows they needed three. They don't have time to do anything else. There was a play drawn up, in timeout. And the Clippers clearly sent some of their best shooters and their smartest players on the floor. So you can see 4 of them right there. It's Paul George, Reggie Jackson. That's the person whose head is cut off in this image is Paul. Paul George's head is cut off in this image, and it's Kawhi Leonard. And then there's Rajon Rondo. The shot that Kawhi Leonard ended up getting towards the corner was a terrible shot. It did not look like something that was actually called. It looks like when you call a play in 2K and the AI don't send the players where you think they should send them, and you just end up forcing up some smothered shot. That's what that looked like. That's exactly what that looked like. And it was not a good shot. So afterwards, this is the look Rajon Rondo gives Kawhi Leonard as he questions him about the shot. Now, I just want to ask you guys something, and you let me know in the comment section if you agree with me, if you think I'm crazy. I cannot imagine any player in the last 25, 30 years who's supposed to be like an alpha, who's supposed to be like that one A guy on a team, that would have a veteran, even a veteran of Rondo's ilk, approaching him, looking at him, and coming at him in that way about a shot he took to win the game. Now, granted, it was a bad shot, and Rondo was right in like, dude, what are you doing? What is that? But for the most part, most players wouldn't have the gall to come to somebody who Kawhi Leonard is supposed to be on this roster and approach him with that kind of posture and that kind of tone, with that kind of look like, answer me, like, what's going on? What is this? And then even more telling than the fact that Rondo came at Kawhi with that sort of approach was Kawhi's response. He kind of dipped his head turned his head and gave a answer and just walked away sheepishly. Now, I think most of us have like uh, somewhat appreciated Kawhi Leonard's mentality and the way he goes about things. He's really low key, doesn't get all bent out of shape. He just goes out there and takes care of business, kind of a guy. I think all of us have taken a moment to find that particular approach refreshing. But things can turn really quickly, and especially when you're starting to lose. And so I know some of y'all are saying, well, Kawhi already won a championship. He doesn't have anything to prove. Well, kinda, but yes, not kinda. He did win a championship with the Raptors in the 1 year there. But I think all of us know that there were some extenuating circumstances around that championship run. Yeah, they beat the Philadelphia 76ers with his iconic shot from the corner that bound off the rim multiple times before falling through. But they also beat a Golden State Warriors team in the NBA Finals that I think most people, even Drake, would probably agree that if either Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant don't go down for the rest of their series when they get hurt, if either of them is healthy, they probably beat the Raptors, let alone both. So you go to war with what you bring to the battle or to the front or whatever, however you want to call it. So the Raptors won. They did what they were supposed to do. Nothing they can do but beat the team that shows up. But when we're talking about Kawhi and whether or not he's that dude, does he need that kind of a circumstance? Does he need the deck stacked in his favor in that way? And it's hard to think about this deck being stacked in anybody's favor when using an analogy that includes the Golden State Warriors and the team that they had together. But in that particular year, with Kawhi playing on a good Raptors team, really good head coach and Nick Nurse, playing against a severely shorthanded Golden State Warriors team, I think it was very clear that things were in Kawhi's favor, and that's when he won his championship. Since then, he's been playing with the Clippers on a good team, very talented team, and they can't quite get over the hump, and now they are on the brink of elimination in a game against in a series against the Dallas Mavericks, and they have not lost one, not two, but 3 games at home already. And you gotta, like, how I'm looking at Kawhi and I'm like, how are you allowing this to happen on your watch? Like in the game last night, one of the biggest plays of the game didn't even actually come from him. Terrence Mann had a really good steal late in the game, had a chance to put his team up by 1, but he was too scared to take the layup, which you kind of understand sometimes a rookie making that type of mistake. He tried to make an extra pass to Nicholas Batum, who couldn't finish the basket. That was a nerves play. He had made a good play there, but I think there's too much being put in the hands of people not named Kawhi Leonard. And I understand maybe if you got Paul George taking it, Paul George had a pretty good game last night. Kawhi Leonard didn't have a fantastic game. I mean, he's been worse, but he certainly has been better and needed to be better. He was 7 for 19 from the field, 1 for 7 from the 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but he also had 5 turnovers. Yeah, man, it was tough. He was a -8, you know. Paul George was a +17 with 10 rebounds and 6 assists. He had 23 points. I think he played well enough. It was Kawhi Leonard, and I just am not sure, guys, if that gentleman, as peaceful and nice as he may be, I'm just not sure if that dude's an alpha.